Ciao Bella, welcome to Bello Uncinetto. I'm Christina, and I'm so glad that you're here with me today. If you're new, welcome in. If you're returning, welcome back. No matter how long you've been here, I always appreciate your time. As you can see from the thumbnail, it is the third volume of Life Lately. So today, I'm hoping maybe I'll get through the rest of the questions from the initial video. So I have three people left of questions to answer, but some of these questions are like kind of doozies. So we'll see how long the first couple take me, and if I feel like the other question might take a little bit more time, because I don't want it to be a whole hour long. Well, I don't mind chit chatting with you all. I then have to edit the video, export the video, upload the video, do all the things to the video. And no, I don't have to edit, but I like the way it looks when I have the things, the intro and the outro on the end, and I like doing those things. It just takes longer. So if I talk to you for an hour, then the file's going to be longer, and then it takes longer to do the things. And anyway, you don't need to know all that, but since it's kind of a behind the scenes thing, maybe it's good that I share it with you. But we'll see how it goes. So I do have three people left to answer questions for. Now, with that being said, if there is a question that you would like an answer to, put it in the comments, please. And I will be happy to do another one of these videos to answer questions for you. And they can be about my life, about my yarny journey, about travels, about anything that you're curious about. Some of them I may not answer. I may say I respectfully decline to answer that. That's too personal. Because I put the video out there and anyone in the world can see it. So there are some things about my life that I don't want the whole world to know right now. So you are free to ask any questions that you would like, but I will answer them within reason, just so that we understand. I don't want anyone to get upset if I choose not to answer the question, but you can ask them. Okay, so we're going in order. The next one that I have to answer is from Oodles and Caboodles. This is Vicky. What are you doing, Nero? I don't know what he sees. He sees something. Okay, so she says, "Hi Christina, I'm a picture person and I love that you share your photos with us. And the question that pops into my mind is, out of all the places you've traveled to, which one is your favorite? Why? And if you had the opportunity to live there, would you do it?" So, I mean, I've traveled to places within the US and now recently outside of the US. Uh, of all the places that I traveled to, which one is my favorite? Hi there. Um, oh, inside the US, we'll do it this way. Inside the US, one of my, I never know what's happening. One of my favorite places that I have traveled to, um, it's not very far from where I used to live in North Carolina. It's a place called Emerald Isle. And it's just a little, um, there's a bridge that you go over, right? Because it's a little island, um, and that's where we used to go to the beach. And there are lots of little towns along there that um, on the island. There's like 3 or 4, I think, little towns, and they are all so um, picturesque and quaint, and they all have beach access, which is nice. And I would love to live on the beach here, but it's not as easy considering that a lot of the places further south don't necessarily have potable water, which is like steady drinking water. So, because they're mainly used for like summer homes. So they'll have tanks of water, but they don't have water flowing all the time. So I try, and there are other places that do have it further south, but that's too far away from the base, and so we're only allowed to live within a certain radius, right? So that we can get to work and things. Um, but I would go back and live on Emerald Isle. Another place in the States that I really, really loved was Eureka Springs in Arkansas. I went there a couple of times for different things, and it was just tranquil. Um, are you okay, buddy? Hey, you okay? You okay? Well, you're making all the noises back there. It was very tranquil. It was very calm. It was very peaceful. It's not a huge town, um, but it felt lovely to be there. And it was like, this is a place that I can be like, okay, this is nice. Um, there was another kind of island area that I'd been to in um, the U.S. It was called Navarre Beach. It's in Florida. Now, I would choose Emerald Isle over Navarre because, one, there are a lot of condos on Navarre Beach, and it felt like a vacation. It didn't feel like I could make a home here. And then I have been to Asheville, North Carolina, what are you doing, buddy? Which is bigger than Eureka Springs, but has the same kind of feel. Um, but we went there during COVID, and um, maybe if I was able to explore more of the area, I might feel differently. But it didn't feel as welcoming. And again, it was during COVID, so could be something to do with that. There were a lot of places we couldn't go to; they were closed. So, if we look at places in Europe that I've traveled to, um, I mean, I haven't traveled that many places, honestly, but I mean, I could see myself settling in the Dolomites, where my family is from. I was able to go back there with my kids last summer, and the tears that I shed being there and feeling complete, that has not happened to me ever in my life. It was like a full circle moment. Like, I made it back to where my family came from. I know where they came from. I saw the marriage records. Like, I held them in my hands. I saw my family home. I talked to relatives. I could walk the town. And I mean, in the summertime, it was beautiful. I don't know about the winter, just because of all of the snow. And not that I have anything against snow. I have not experienced it much in my life. Um, so I don't know if it got really, really cold, how I would deal. but there are other places that I want to travel, so maybe that answer will change over time. We'll see. But that's my answer for now. I hope that helps your thought process, Vicky. Okay, so the next one is from Kay. She says, "Hi Christina, I have two questions for you, but the first one is a two-part question." Okay. Out of all the things you've made since starting your channel, which one was your favorite and why? And then part two, which did you find the most challenging? So, since I've started my channel, what is the most favorite thing that I've made? Because I've been crocheting for a long time, but since starting my channel, I have challenged myself a little bit more with different patterns. I really enjoy, I don't do a lot of it because I am not super confident in it. I know that the more that I practice it, I will do better. But the most enjoyable thing that I've made, I made a Tunisian simple stitch baby blanket. And I sent it to Rose Likes Crochet for Wings when I was still in the States. And it was made with Hobby Lobby's Yarn Bee, the baby one. So it was a DK weight. And it had all of these beautiful pastel colors in it. And I just love the way that everything played out, and that they all worked together. And I mean, I started that blanket over like 3 times, but I was so happy with it when I was done. The little ruffly border and all, oh man, it was just, that was my favorite. So then the most challenging thing that I've made, and I've actually made more of these than I made of the Tunisian blankets. I did do something else that was Tunisian recently, but that's not what this is about. I made some like moccasin slippers. I've actually made 3 pairs. 2 I have for myself. One of them that I have was supposed to be for someone else, but I have them now, so I guess they stay with me. The other pair I made for Mama Swift, and it was hard, one, making them the same size, and 2, gauging, because I made the pair for my foot, right? That was easy because I could try it on as it went. How did it feel? Make it bigger, that kind of stuff. But I made the ones for Mama Swift as a surprise, so I was really trying to do it so that it would fit her foot, and I don't know that they actually did fit. I know that they would stretch over time because mine have stretched for sure. But I was like, oh, this is so like, because even though someone could be a size 8.5, like I wear a size 8.5 shoe, they could have wide feet, they could have narrow feet, they could have like their foot be a little bit longer, right? The proportion of your toes to the sole of your foot, the middle part of your foot, all of that can be different. And so I think that if I did those again for anyone, I would want, of course, the length of your foot and then the measurement around like the base of your toes and then um, the measurement of your ankle, like the circumference of your ankle, because even my ankles, so my right ankle, I have twisted a lot. I've broken it. Um, I had a lot of surgeries growing up on my feet because I had a lot of problems with my feet. So my right ankle is bigger than my left ankle. Um, it just is. It's not significantly bigger, but like if I try to take my fingers and put them around my ankles, there's a noticeable difference when you try to measure. If you're just staring at my feet for some reason, you wouldn't necessarily notice, but um, I can tell the difference, right? Even in when I put on socks and what feels tighter and looser and so forth. So that would be the most challenging thing for me, would be making those moccasins. All right, then question number 2. Knowing that your Nonna is the one who inspired / taught you to crochet, is there something she made that you've always wanted to try to make for yourself but haven't? I mean, Nonna was always into the thinner, like threads. So she did a lot of lace. She did a lot of doilies. She did a lot of things like that. She did hats and scarves and stuff like that as well. But I would like to make a doily. I made it into a rug, but I made a doily. Um, I made it out of bulky yarn. There was a mystery crochet-a-long that Lisa at Ladybird Loves did, and we made a rug out of bulky yarn, but it was a rug pattern, but it looks like a doily. I mean, just the way that it's shaped. So if you made it out of smaller yarn, it could be like a centerpiece. Um, there are some complicated stitches and like repeats and things that I would love to do. I don't know what they're called. I mean, I have her doilies upstairs, so I could like study them and see like this is the kind of thing that I want to do, but I wouldn't know where to start because she's not around for me to ask her what it was that she did. But yeah, I would like to make like a runner or a centerpiece. I don't want to make a whole tablecloth or anything because that would require a lot of tiny yarn, and it's not my favorite. Um, I'm already working with a cardigan, and I have 15 rows, and it's like this tall. I have 15 rows, and it's this tall. This tall. Not this tall. It's this tall. And I have 15 rows. So I'm going to power through. I'm going to do it. I'm going to power through. But it is a lot for me to do tiny yarn. I don't have the patience. Okay. So we might actually get to the last question in this video. And this one comes from Amanda at Obsessive Crochet Lady. How has your life changed since moving to Italy? Well, that's a bigger question than you think, Amanda. Um, there have been some really positive changes, and there have been some not so positive changes. We'll just say it like that. So, of course, I moved here for work. One of the biggest things that is not so positive is that it took me away from my son. So I have my daughter, obviously. She lives with me. She's smaller. But my son chose to stay in the States because he had been accepted to college, and he had to audition because he is a music major. So we traveled around the state doing auditions. And he was accepted into a couple of colleges, but um, the one that he is attending is um, where he wanted to be. And he did have the opportunity, to come and live here if he wanted, but he didn't want to. And I respect that. I totally respect that. No hard feelings, but it did separate me from him pretty instantaneously. I mean, he went to college in August of 2022, and I moved here in October of 2022. And before that point, we had not been, definitely not this far away from each other, ever. Um, but we, he had gone away to like camp for a week or, whatever, do different things. Oh, hello. Goodbye. Um, so that has definitely been hard, really hard. Um, but being here has allowed me to help him pay for college, which is something I would not be able to do if I was still living in the States. Um, and that has been something that I was able to keep my word to him, which was as a big deal to me. If I tell you that I'm going to do something for you, there better be something crazy happening for me not to be able to get it done for you. So, um, I am very glad that I was able to keep my word to him. Um, so that has been a mix of positive and not so positive. Um, I mean, I've been able to travel and see places that I never would have been able to get to if I lived in the U.S. still, um, because travel is very, very different here. For example, a flight that I booked for my daughter and I um, was the same price, or it was actually cheaper, a little bit cheaper than a flight that I booked for my son to go to my mom's house. So it was for two people. Um, and here there are a lot of budget airlines where you have to pay extra for baggage, you have to pay extra for um, fast tracking through security, you have to pay extra for insurance, you have to pay. There are all of these like little nickel and dime things. So the base fare is this, and that gets you on the plane with a backpack or a personal item of some sort. Right? It gets you on the plane. That's it. So you have to pay all of those extra things. So even with adding all of those things, it was still cheaper for my daughter and I to get on the plane with luggage and all of that than it, and we're going so much farther than the distance that my son is going. But in the US it is so cost prohibitive to fly. So I would have loved to see even so much more of the US living there. But like you have to drive. And gas is expensive, but not nearly as expensive as it would be to fly. And anyway, so that is a very big positive change. Um, I have become much more aware of conversion rates. So I get paid in US dollars, but I have to spend a lot in euro. The euro is most often stronger than the dollar, which means that it costs more dollars to do things if you do them in euro. So, for example, I was looking at something today with a student, and the cost of it was 73 euro. That was almost 80 US dollars. So it's not a significant change, but it's enough that when you're paying for things, with your US dollar bank account and you have to pay that in euro, you think, oh, that's 20 euro. No, it's like 22.50. Like, so it adds up over time because it's usually a little bit more than a dollar. So for every 1 euro, it's like $1.10, $1.50, depending on the conversion rate of the day. So paying attention to that has been a big change for me. Another thing is I have made some very good friends here, and some connections to other schools, because when I worked in the States and I worked for, I did the virtual school that is tied to this system that I work in. A lot of those people worked in other places in the world. And now that I am here in Europe and not in the States, I've made connections with them as well. On the flip side of that, all of the people that I love in the United States are so much farther away from me. So I had a very, 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 very good friend, pretty much my best friend, that we talked every single day. Every day. Even when she was when she left Arkansas and I left Arkansas, we still talked every day. And when I first moved here, we still talked every single day because I was leaving work and she was going to work. But with the up and the down and the changing, now she's not driving herself to work every day. So we don't get that time to talk. And I miss it. I do. I miss it. Because there is a unique situation on this island. They call it the fishbowl effect. So it's almost like if you're a teacher, you're typically friends with teachers. If you are a military spouse, you're typically friends with military spouses. If you, are not involved in the school at all, you're typically not talking to people who are not involved with the school. That doesn't mean that you can't be, and that doesn't mean that there are like clear cut, like dividing lines, but it's very limiting. And there are people who never travel outside of the area where base is. And then there are people who are like, I work there and I don't want to do anything else there. I'm kind of a mix between the two. I like the services that base offers. I give crochet classes on base. So I enjoy those kinds of events. But I am here. I want to experience the culture. So it gets kind of like I'm trying to find the word. It gets kind of, you feel like you're on a tilt-a-whirl sometimes, or I do. It's kind of like, okay, we're going over here, and no, we're going over there, and oh, this is happening, and oh, that's happening. And then there are things that I'm a civilian. I'm not involved in the military, so there are things I don't understand about things that are happening with military life, right? I am not an expert on that at all, right? I am a civilian working for the military. And in some ways that kind of lowers my class, so to speak. So, I mean, I am a government employee and all of that, but like there are services I can't access on base because I'm not in the military. So there are things that we can't do on base when it comes to like medical care and things like that because we're not military. So we have to go out on the economy, which causes a whole nother set of strain and confusion. And thankfully I have a couple of amazing friends who speak Italian. They live out on the economy, and I can pick up the phone and say, hey, I need your help. If I didn't have those people, living away from base would be very hard. Because yes, I want to immerse myself in the culture, but I have an American schedule. We do not follow the Italian schedule when it comes to like riposo. We don't have that. Italian holidays. So like a lot of the events where I could go and like learn a lot of the language, I can't do them because my job starts at I have to be at work before 7:30. And I don't have that time off in the middle of the day, and I can't eat dinner at 9 o'clock at night because I have to be up to go to work. So it's a lot. So I love it here. I am very, very glad for the opportunity. My job is really good. Like I like my job, not just, oh yeah, it's okay. I mean, there are days I'm just like, I'm tired. And there are things I don't necessarily look forward to, but that comes with everything. But I mean, teaching is my career. I have done it for a very long time. I really love it. Considering I never thought that I would be a teacher. That wasn't in the plans, but I love my job, and I love the experience that I've had transitioning from high school teaching to middle school teaching to elementary. No, I'm not in the classroom all day, every day with the same students as an elementary classroom teacher. I don't have that certification, but being able to see the dynamics of how all those different kinds of teachers work is fascinating. And being a part of it is really cool. So I don't know if that answered your question, Amanda. I hope it did. If during this video, you, the viewer, whoever you are, thank you so much for sticking around. If any of the things that I've said have brought up questions that you're like, well, now I want to know about this, please put them in the comments below. I have answered all of the questions from the very, very first video, and I will link the playlist to those videos at the end of this video. But if there are things that you want to know, please put them in the comments, and like I said, I will do my best to answer them. And that can be, again, anything from my yarny journey, things about my life, things in Sicily that I may or may not know about. I did do during my birthday week, or the week leading up to my birthday, I did a whole birthday shenanigans situation where I talked about different places for food in Sicily, different places you can shop for food. So if you're curious about any of that, you can go check those out. But yeah, I hope that this has been informative, and I hope that the three of you that asked me the questions got the answers you wanted. If not, ask the question again, but maybe a little differently, so I can give you the answer that maybe you were wanting, or the path, right, that you were trying to get me to go down. But that's all I have for now. So as always, be well, be safe, and be the change you wish to see in the world, everyone. Ciao, bye.